Reload while attack sprinting implies, again, that you can reload while sprinting by default. That's really good because you can't even do that in multiplayer right now in MW3. You have to run commando gloves to be able to do that. So that's really cool as a default option. And then reload while attack sprinting, that's impossible, period, right now. So that's going to be super interesting. I wonder what the animation looks like, and I wonder what speed you run at. Because like right now with commando gloves, we are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 400 plus 48. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon, and today we're calling an audible. We're doing it. We're talking about Black Ops 6 leaks. So a second, third, and fourth leak has hit the towers of the timeline this afternoon. We originally had like a huge plan. Super definitely had a plan. I actually had a lot I wanted to talk about today, but we're gonna postpone that because we got a bunch of BO6 leaks out of kind of nowhere, and that that will happen as we lead up to launch and COD Next especially. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We kind of threw this together, and by we I mean Tanner, and by Tanner I mean I. So the order is going to be, Hap and Hazard, but we're still going to kind of get into all of it. Now, keep in mind, first of all, the leaks were up and then down inside of an hour. So most of you probably didn't get to catch any of them. Although once it's on the internet, it's kind of there forever. If you look hard enough, you can find it. I will also add, most of it is not really worth going to the labor of trying to find footage of. Wasn't actually that interesting at all. In fact, I would venture to say the vast majority of it was just showing us things we already got an even better look at from the Black Ops 6 Direct. Like, for example, one of the leaked videos was this dip poop just walking around on a map. And it's like, okay, I guess you can see that particular map better. But, I mean, the UI you can see, but we've already seen that. The visibility and, like, things like that we've already seen before. So a lot of it's not, like, super worth seeing, frankly. And the things that we're going to talk about today. So don't feel like, too left out if you didn't get a chance to see them yourself. Really not much going on. So with that said, though, we did learn a couple of things, and that is what we're going to talk about. So yeah, as far as announcements, nothing really. We'll be back next week. But for now, I think we can just get right into these leaks. And again, these are in no particular order. We're just going to kind of take them as they come. And we have compiled a bunch of screenshots. We're actually not going to show them because Activision has been taking down this media online, and I don't want to get our YouTube copyright stricken. So we're just going to basically look at it ourselves and talk about what we're seeing. Yeah. So starting off with this first little screenshot here, we're in the create a class, and we're picking a wild card. And there are 3 wild cards that are selectable: Overkill, Gunfighter, and Perk Greed. And we're mousing over Gunfighter, so that's the one where we can also read the description, which is this: get 3 extra attachment points for your primary weapon. So we already knew this was going to be a perk, or it was already leaked or something.
Wild card, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This, which is what I said, but this gives us actually a little more info, I think, than we had before. So it's only for your primary, and also calling it attachment points, I feel like there's some significance there, but I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah, I did not realize that until you read that out loud, actually. I did not pay attention to it saying points at all.
Yeah.
You would think it just said use 3 more attachments. It kind of does make you think that they were at one point going for more of a traditional pick 10 system maybe, and then they changed their mind at some point. Because also, so all of these leaks came from supposedly an early beta, a pre-beta build from PS4. So it's last gen, and it's like based off the beta build. That's why we will have more wildcards, whether it's on launch or season 1, we start getting more. But as like this screenshot, we only have 3. And same thing when they went through all the guns. Like there was like 1 shotgun, there were 2 or 3 SMGs, there were 2 snipers. Everything was not in there at all. So I believe these wildcards were already actually confirmed at the reveal event that we had, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But regardless, yeah, cool. A lot of these too, it's just kind of interesting to see the UI, which again we learned about in the videos, but kind of gives you like a better look of just a lot of things they've changed, how you scroll through the attachments and whatnot. Now everything's vertical again. You don't scroll horizontally. You can see them all listed out like old school.
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But going back to these wildcards real quick. Yeah, it's weird that they say 3 extra attachment points. I think there's some significance there, and I'm not sure what it is. Because I don't know why you don't just call it get 3 extra attachments for your primary weapon.
I wonder if there's something weird, like for some categories, you would be able to choose 2 attachments from that category. So for example, there's one we're going to go through later under fire mods. There is something called rapid fire, right? So that helps like rechambering speed on that specific gun, which was a sniper. So I wonder if you would be able to select like rapid fire and then also use an actual ammo type that is under that same category.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not going to work for most things. I can't put 2 optics on. You can't change the barrels, but I don't know. There's a chance it could mean something like that.
But
realistically, yeah, it's probably just three different attachments that you would select.
Yeah, I might be looking way too much into this, but I do want to flag it just in case. But
a flag, man.
We'll learn more. Yeah, we'll plant a little flag there. Overkill is pretty obvious. 2 primary weapons. Or 2 of any type of weapon, I would assume that means, actually. So you'd have 2 secondaries if you want. Hopefully they do that. And then perk greed, I think that's... I don't know what that's going to be in this game. Because you can pick a different color for each slot. That's how you unlock the specialty, or like bonus perk. So you can already take like 3 yellow perks if you want, without the wild card. So what does perk greed give you? Like... 2 perks in each slot?
I thought that's what it was. I don't know.
That might be what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder too, because weren't there leaks, or was it revealed that in Warzone the wildcard system was going to be in there too? Because I wonder if like you're just going to have to run overkill or something if some sort of wildcard system exists in Warzone to run 2 primary weapons. I wonder how that stuff's going to work as well.
Yeah, that's a good question, too.
Because I thought there were leaks that wild cards were going to be in Warzone, too, but that could be entirely wrong.
Yeah, that's a good question, too. That's a really good question. There are going to be a lot of questions about the integration, and I think we're going to learn a lot at COD Next. Because they already teased Warzone info in Black Ops 6 Direct, where she was like, oh, can we talk about Warzone yet? No. Very staged and cringe. But the fact that they did that already, to me, implies that we're going to get a ton of Warzone info also at COD Next, which is going to be super interesting. But anyway, moving off of that, next screenshot here is a look at the Gunsmith. So in this screenshot, we see the Marine SP, which is a gun.
Which is a pump shotgun.
Yes. And you also were looking at like an advanced Gunsmith. So the Gunsmith... I don't know if we're looking at an attachment or something. I actually don't really know what's going on. Why don't you help me?
So on the right side of this image, so we have detailed stats in the game right now. Again, another improvement they've made this year to the HUD is when you pull up detailed stats, it stays on the right side of your screen, it looks like. So you can then still go through and change attachments and see immediately at the same menu how they are changing your detailed stats. Whereas now, detailed stats is a whole different menu, so you have to swap out an attachment, look at detailed stats again, basically. Now it's all going to be on one screen.
Yeah.
And then to the left of that, what you're seeing is a body location damage profile.
Oh, I see.
Like basically like they're building something into the game, kind of like what we have with TGD, where he shows how much damage to the arm, to the leg, to the head, to the neck, and it's showing those hitboxes, and it shows you the exact damage profiles.
Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, so it's like a little Roblox character. So you see like a head, you see a torso, you see legs, and then you see one arm. Since obviously you don't need 2 legs and 2 arms, the damage values are going to be the same. Can you imagine a gun does more damage to the right leg than the left? I could. Activision. Yeah. Anyways, what's cool about this is that, because we kind of do already have this info now, but it's not shown in this way. It's written down instead. So it says like head damage, and then it has a number, and then it says like stomach damage, and it has another number. This is just like a little Roblox guy, and then there are numbers pointing to each hitbox. So one thing I want to point out, a couple things. First of all, we have a head hitbox. We do have a neck hitbox. Then we have an upper torso hitbox. Then we have a stomach hitbox. Then we have an upper leg hitbox and a lower leg hitbox. Yeah. So most of those are pretty standard with the exception of the neck multiplier. That is coming back. So I don't really know how I feel about that, although I think I like it. It just, it changes, it allows for more fine tuning of guns and how strong they are. Because like right now, for example, there are some snipers or like marksman rifles that do the same damage whether you shoot someone in the head or the neck. And that basically means it has a super generous headshot hitbox. Because if the neck does the same amount of damage as the head, then it, you know, they both are equally valuable. And then other snipers will not have that. So a headshot will do more damage than the neck. So you have to be a little more accurate. I like that. I like the addition of the neck hitbox that allows for that kind of additional dimension of weapon balancing. And then also I just like the UI of this. It's super clean, super easy to understand. And everything else is basically the same, like the fire rate, bullet velocity, and how you can have those advanced stats pulled up independent of what attachment you're looking at, or if you're not even looking at an attachment at all. That's really good, because it is extremely annoying where I will have to like pick a random attachment and then press advanced to like see all my stats. Really cool that they're doing it this way too. Yeah, big fan of that.
So I'm noticing something here that I didn't notice until now. So look at the bottom. We have optic, muzzle, barrel, underbarrel, stock, laser, fire mod. So we have 7 attachment options for this specific shotgun because it doesn't have, for example, a rear grip option. So if you take gunfighter, which is giving you 3 extra attachment points for your weapon, that's giving you 1 extra point than attachments are even possible to put on it. So at that point, is it just a waste to run a wild card like that on a shotgun? Or again, does that point system mean something else? Does that give you an extra point that you can put somewhere else?
That's a great question. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because there are going to be a lot of guns like that. Because yeah, like a shotgun, or this shotgun anyway, doesn't have a magazine attachment category. Because this shotgun doesn't take mags.
Yep.
It's just like you just load it into the tube. And then also, yeah, it doesn't have a rear grip attachment because I guess you can't. It should have a rear grip attachment, actually. You can change out rear grips on a pump, can't you? In real life?
I guess not on this specific shotgun.
I guess not on this one. Yeah.
Not really. It kind of depends the type of shotgun it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but there are going to be other guns like this for sure. Like a double barrel shotgun would be another one. There's not going to be a mag attachment on that. There's not going to be, you know, probably a rear grip attachment on that too. So maybe that's why it does say attachment points, because yeah, maybe those points become transferable if you can't use them all. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, it says for your primary weapon. So then I just don't know how that would work. I wonder how it worked in the other games, because this has existed before, but I'm not sure how this would have worked in like BO or Cold War, for example. I don't remember at all.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's a good question. So,
but anyways, maybe we're just looking into
either
it
way,
too much.
So TLDR there on this screenshot. Detailed, the Gunsmith is back. The detailed stats are back. And they show everything that we're getting, that we are already shown in the current game, but better. You can keep the detailed stats up indefinitely, which is really nice quality of life change. And then the damaged little hitbox guy is very cool too. So that's good. Moving on from that, we have a screenshot of a bunch of multiplayer maps. So it's basically like you're picking, it looks like he made a custom lobby and then he's at the map select screen. So I'm going to read the names of these maps. Derelict, Protocol, Skyline, Scud, Pit, Rewind, Stakeout, Gala, and Babylon. Honestly, not much to say about it.
Yeah, there's nothing really to say with that.
Yeah.
There are other ones like, we know Nuketown's coming back, Firing Range. A new one that came out today, though, is it seems like there's going to be a Hacienda remake. Or a variant of Hacienda, yeah.
Very interesting. Yep. Wasn't my favorite BO4 map, but I didn't hate it.
Wasn't terrible, but definitely wasn't the best. Yeah, it was. I felt like it was a little big for that game, maybe.
It's a little big. Yeah, it's a
little long.
Big. That's my first thought. Yeah.
It did have a fun layout, though. It did.
Mid went crazy, too.
Mid was really fun, so... Yeah, not like a top 10 COD map of all time, but definitely up there. It's a good map. Better than average.
I would say above average, yeah. So that is interesting. I didn't know we got confirmation Firing Range is coming back. But that's fantastic.
I mean, we've been hearing leaks about that for a long time. But again,
it's about
Firing Range was also coming back in Cold War. So, 100% it was coming back.
In this case, I actually believe it because we haven't had it since BO4.
Yeah.
And it's also a perfect map. So we're overdue for a
one of the best
range.
Call of Duty maps of all time. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. So anyway, and then here is another screenshot here. This is like the loading screen for one of the maps.
Yes. So loading screen into the maps. This is interesting. At the bottom right corner, as you're loading in, so it shows the big map layout on the left or on the loading image of the map. Then on the right, it's saying the mode you're playing. On the map you're playing, it shows a overhead layout of the map. And then it shows map and mode stats in the bottom right corner. So every time you load into a specific map and game mode, it is showing your specific stats for that game mode. So it's listing average eliminations, KD ratio, and your win-loss ratio with that map and mode. That's really cool.
Because
good little
this
thing to
is
look
2DM.
at when you're loading in.
Yeah, this is very
But this
cool.
should be for everything, yeah. So
exactly.
then like Dom, it'll show other stats, maybe. Hardpoint, it'll show something else. So yeah, really cool.
Yeah, that's super cool, actually. It's cute. It's not like, it's a
nice little detail.
It's a classic Treyarch inclusion where it's like, I could do without it, but I'd much rather have it than not. And then when you stack 24 of those little things on top of each other in a game, all of a sudden it feels way better to play.
Yeah.
And like just experience, Yeah. So
and this is
it's really cool, actually.
This is the type of thing we might be seeing, or not, but just saying we might be seeing this because of the added development time they had. Maybe little features like that otherwise wouldn't be in the game. Now we are seeing on launch rather than it maybe being added 6 months later or
For
just
sure.
never.
No, I think you're totally right. Yeah, this is what polish looks like. Like this is something that would be on the chopping
Polish
block.
This.
Frog thrust.
Yeah.
He whips out his cock. This is something that would be on the chopping block if you had like a stunted development cycle. But when you have a full cycle, you have time to do things like this. Yeah, it's like this is not essential or crucial, but it's really cool. And when it's like if it's like hardpoint protocol, then your map and mode stats will probably show like average objective time, win-loss ratio would probably always show up, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe still KD ratio or something, but whatever it would be, that's really cool. Yeah, I really like that. So moving on to the next screenshot, we have a picture of a muzzle brake. This is just like we're mousing over one particular attachment. It's just called muzzle brake. This is for the LR762. So it says it's locked at level unlocked. It's locked currently, but it unlocks when you level the LR762 to level 27. Total weapon levels for this particular gun, which is just like a battle rifle or an assault rifle.
This is a sniper.
It's in 762.
This is a sniper rifle.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Well, anyways, that's kind of crazy then, because the weapon levels is 44.
Correct.
That's a lot of weapon levels. This is the
bolt-action sniper.
Especially for a bolty, which doesn't historically have many attachment slots. Because if you guys look at bolties right now in MW 3, weapon levels like 20, typically. Because usually, or what they've been doing, actually exclusively, is tying the number of weapon levels to the number of attachments there are. So when you have a new, whatever, we get the car 98 added to the game. It only has 20 possible attachments, so they only have 20 weapon levels. But this bolty has 44 weapon levels, which is actually kind of crazy to me. So this could mean one of two things. One, there are going to be 44 attachments on the LR762. Okay, maybe. Or two, there are going to be more weapon levels than attachments for each gun. But then why do you pick the number 44? That seems weird. So I'm erring a little bit more toward the former, but how do you have 44 attachments for a bolt action sniper? Or any sniper, I should say. Like for an AR, maybe. Like an M4, there are so many things in like real life even you could do to that gun that I could see it having like 45 weapon levels, like 45 different type attachments. But a sniper, that's kind of crazy. But that's pretty interesting, but that's not the most interesting thing. It describes it, not going to read it. And then here are the pros and cons. And this goes back to a theory Tanner talked about when we got the paracord grip and the quartermaster suppressor added to the game, because the paracord grip specifically, which is a new attachment right now in MW 3, it has a bunch of really good pros, but it has quite literally no cons.
Yeah.
It is an attachment without a downside. It's the first one. Well, it's not the first one in MW 3, because there are certain attachments, like there are some lasers that are like not visible and they give you pros and they don't have cons, but the pros are very minimal. Whereas with the paracord grip, the pros are really good, like 15% more horizontal recoil control, literally no downsides. And I was like, This is pretty weird, because no other attachment that's good works this way. And then Tanner mentioned like, well, this could be part of their decision to start consolidating attachments. And when the new ones come, a lot of these are going to work this way also. And that seems to be right, because this muzzle brake pros 3 carats, kick reset speed. We'll talk about that. And then another 3 carats, first shot recoil control. Cons, literally none. So it has 2 really strong pros, the 3 carats. It's almost as strong as it gets in terms of the symbols. And there are literally no cons. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, so
it does seem like we're getting that.
When he was going through all these, because this was a 2.5 minute video going through all the attachments, and this sniper probably had, besides like the optics, which are also tied to other guns, they're not all unlocked through this gun.
Right.
Aside from the optics, there probably were a good 20 plus specific attachments for this gun. So maybe it's like 1 attachment every 2 levels is how they're doing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
the weapon level thing also doesn't matter much at all, because it could be as fast as just having 22 levels. They just say it has 44. It really doesn't matter. It's just all about how quickly you progress through it.
Yeah, I agree.
So but that is interesting that we're going back to a higher number again.
Yeah.
So on the cons though, I'm almost wondering if they're just not all in there, because I would say 60 to 70% of the attachments he showed listed no cons, which is almost weird. But also, yeah, again, maybe that's just what they're going for. Maybe they do want you to your guns to feel entirely better and different as you change attachments. And instead of just having massive downsides, you can just change the way the gun works entirely by changing the brake or the barrel and not suffer any downsides either way. It's possible, but there were so few cons that, yeah, it just makes me think that this is a very early build where not everything's even in there yet.
Yeah, maybe. There are some cons though. So yeah, I don't know. I think I can see it going either way. I lean toward this is actually intended though.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be good.
Hopefully, number 1, yeah, but 2, because we have the paracord grip. So like we already know, we have proof now that they're willing to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
So, and now let's look at some of these.
Go
ahead.
Well, Well, on this first one, so we have a kick reset speed.
Yeah.
We've never seen that stat before. So that's going to be, because this is a sniper rifle, so that's going to be how quickly your reticle goes back down to the target where you originally fired. So wherever you're aiming, you
like
fire that bullet,
recentering
it's got
speed,
recoil, that recentering speed. So that's a really interesting attachment. And then, yeah, first shot recoil control. We're seeing that as well in a specific stat.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, this is exactly what I was going to talk about. Yeah. So these are two new like pro attachment benefit descriptions. They're entirely new. Now, in terms of function, these actually probably are not new. The difference is in MW2, they were probably called firing aim stability or something dumb and unintuitive. Or like in MW19, there was recoil control and there was recoil stabilization. Got it. Where it looks like finally the devs have figured out that doesn't make any sense. And you shouldn't have to like go Google what recoil stabilization versus control means. Because we literally had to watch exclusive Ace videos to figure out what the hell that meant.
And one of them did literally nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, many of them did literally nothing, unfortunately. That's insane, obviously. And finally, I think they have figured out, okay, we're going to have these descriptions be just common sense. You don't have to Google it to figure out what it means. And that's a huge W. So I think some of these pros or cons are going to actually maybe be new functionality, like new things that can be altered that weren't alterable with attachments before. But I think most of these things are actually just going to be things that attachments can already give you, but that are not described well at all. Now they're going to be described really well, which is really good. And yeah, this is a good attachment, by the way, for a sniper. Kick reset speed. So yeah, like recentering speed, basically. How long it takes for your reticle to get back where you were originally aiming prior to shooting. Having that be faster is really important, especially on a sniper that rechambers quickly. Because I think we've all experienced, or maybe we haven't all noticed it, but you probably all experienced it, using a sniper that has a pretty fast rechamber speed, but it is not at all in sync with its recentering speed. And that just causes you to actually miss more shots than you otherwise would, because you're firing at your fire rate, but you're not recentered yet. So then you're just like missing a little bit because you're still like not quite done recentering, and now you're off target again. So that's like a really important stat for a sniper, getting that recentering speed quick.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then first shot recoil control is similar, but not the same. How much your reticle moves when you shoot, obviously.
Yeah.
So which is also fairly important. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a couple other attachments we'll look at here. So this next one is the CHF barrel.
Another video was just dropped. We should go through it now before it gets taken down again, because he's now released all the perk lists and everything. So I'm going to go through this. I'll just kind of like read them off and we'll talk about it as we go, since we're not going to show it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to take a million screenshots. So first of all, here we're going through tacticals. He's going to list all those. First one, we're seeing concussion grenade. It's a stun. Stuns are coming back. Flashbang's coming back. Stim shot. Combat stim that heals wounds and refreshes tactical sprint. We have one called Prox Alarm, set of 2 sticky alarms that ring and flash when an enemy is near. Tripped alarms show on allied minimaps. So, okay. And then decoy grenades back. Got it. Oh, decoy sticks to surfaces now. That's what it says. It's not how it works now, is it? Isn't it like a grenade?
No, yeah, it bounces now.
Yeah. It sticks to surfaces. Okay,
hot
take, that's it for tacticals.
Decoy grenades out of the game.
Yeah. Lethals, this is all going to be standards. We got a frag, we got a Simtex. Looks like Thermal Barrack is back. Creates a large fuel air cloud that explodes after a duration. Blast Trap, planted explosive device that detonates when the enemies come near. So like a bouncing Betty
like
kind of.
Prox, Claymore, area denial kind of lethal. That's interesting. Okay.
Next one is Combat Axe, so it's an axe you throw, and yeah.
Okay.
So then done with those. Okay, field upgrades. Here we go. So we have Assault Pack, which is dropping ammo and equipment to resupply your team. We have Trophy System as a field upgrade. We have Neurogas, deployed trap, which emits a neurotoxic gas cloud, causing severe hallucinations and disorienting. and damaging victims. Okay, so it's
like
a
a gas grenade, but a trap?
It's yes, it's a trap.
Cringe.
I don't know how it works. It's hard to tell from the image. Next one, acoustic amp. Personal audio amplifier that makes enemy footsteps louder for a duration. And it's probably in one specific area where you throw it, I would imagine.
Yeah, just like in Cold War. It was called a different thing, but yeah.
This one I saw earlier might be kind of weird. So it's a field upgrade called Sleeper Agent. It says, infiltrate the enemy team, appearing as a friendly for them for a short duration. Kills extend the time. Gunfire and enemy content reveal your true identity. Little worried about that. That's a little weird. So basically, some guy on the other team might have blue above his head, and then I ignore him and smile he's on the other team. That sounds absolutely terrible and should not be in the game.
Yep.
But hopefully it's one of those things where people just run the other 4 field upgrades because they're better. But I don't know. That sounds toxic, and I hate it.
It's just going to make me shoot all my teamates constantly.
Miserable idea. Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
If that's how it works, if it's showing like if it's showing their them as blue or something. Okay, so here we go. Perks. So we have perk categories 1 through 3, and then there's something showing specialty. So we're going to read perks 1 right now.
Okay.
See what we got. Assassin. Enemies on a kill streak get a unique mini-map marker and drop bounty packs when killed. Pick up the packs for more score.
Yeah, we saw that in Cold War.
Yes. Then we have Scavenger. Go through these faster. Yeah, resupply ammo, blah, blah. Bruiser, melee kills and finishing moves, replenish health and earn extra score. No one will run that. Ninja is in perk 1. Move more quietly. It does not say silent.
Good comms.
Move more quietly, Ninja.
Very good comms. Okay.
Ghost is also in category 1. Undetectable by enemy radar ping and UAV when moving, planting, defusing, or controlling score streaks. Interesting. So you could be in a score streak, not moving, and you won't show up on UAV.
I think that's how it actually.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it says that. Maybe it does work that way. Yeah. And then you're undetectable by prox alarm. And then it's kind of showing the little specialty. So like those first 3 were in one specialty. Ninja and Ghost are in a specialty together.
Oh, like the colors, you mean?
Yeah. And the next 2 we have here, Flak Jacket and Tac Mask. Reduces incoming explosive and fire damage, standard. Resistance to enemy flash. Yeah, that's all standard stuff. So then perk 2.
Okay.
Dexterity. Reduced weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving. So and you take less fall damage.
Okay.
Okay. I like that, actually, because I noticed from some of the gameplay, that was like my only thought. I'm like, the only thing I don't like is how dumb the weapon models look. It sways back and forth so much when you're running. So cool, I have to run a perk to get rid of that.
Yeah, smile.
Next up, Gung Ho. Reduced movement penalties while reloading or using equipment. Reload while tack sprinting.
Okay, wait. Reduced movement penalties while reloading and using equipment?
Reduced movement penalties while reloading or using equipment, and you reload while tack sprinting.
Oh, wow. So that implies that you can reload while sprinting by default. While normal sprinting by default.
Probably. I did not think about that. But
which is a W.
Yeah. Cool.
That's really good. Okay, cool.
That is a W. Next up, Tracker standard, Engineer standard stuff. Forward intel increases minimap area and shows direction. Indicators for revealed enemies. Dispatcher, reduce score streak cost for non-lethal kill streak.
That's weird.
Fast hand, swap weapons faster, and extend focus when throwing. Oh, extend fuses. It's hard to read because he has so many watermarks. Extend fuses when throwing back grenades.
What's that one called?
That was called fast hands.
So fast hands is throw stuff faster? It's like
throw back grenades faster and then swap weapons faster.
Okay, yeah, got it. So
that's a great point, Moose. Sleeper Agent's going to be crazy and hardcore. Yeah, maybe, huh?
Yeah. Anyways, or what about if we get ground war or like some big team mode back? Like, what about the war mode we have now, or whatever it's called, where it's like 10v10? Well, I don't think it is anymore, but on launch it was. It was a bigger team mode. Like, the bigger the team mode, the better that stupid Sleeper Agent perk's going to be. Because, like, if I'm playing sixes, I am, and this is a perk, I'm probably going to, like, start to notice who my teammates are and what their names are and what their operator skins look like. and then
that's
who
true.
is not on my team. So then some guy tries to do sleeper agent midway through the match, and it's like, buddy, I've killed you 5 times this match. I know you're not on my team. I don't care if your name is blue. But if I'm in ground war, I'm not going to know that. So it's going to be like really good and really cringe and annoying. I hate that perk. I think it's bad. I don't think it's going to be fun at all. I think it's going to be miserable, actually.
Sounds like a dumb idea. Yeah.
It sounds like a super stupid idea. Yeah. But anyway. Okay, so fast hands.
Okay, so now we're in perk 3. So that was all perk 2 categories. Now the last one's for perk 3. First, we have double time, greatly increased duration of tactical sprint. Hopefully that actually means greatly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next up, bankroll, start each life with 150 score towards score streaks.
Okay.
Vigilance, display a HUD icon whenever you appear on enemy mini-maps. Immune to counter UAV and scrambler, immune to sleeper agent. Okay. Cold-blooded, undetectable, that's standard. Quartermaster is restock, recharge equipment. Gearhead, 2 field upgrade charges. Increased field upgrade charge rate. Hack enemy equipment and field upgrades. And booby trap care packages.
Okay.
So that's basically giving you double field upgrade, but it sounds like you still have to run the same one. It's like you just get to drop 2 of them.
Yeah, we've had this perk
at the same
before,
time or
and
faster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's 2 of the
And the
same
last
one.
perk here is Guardian. Faster healing while capturing and holding objectives. Revive downed teammates faster. Revive down teammates faster. So that's got to be for some sort of VIP type mode or something that we've had before in multiplayer.
Yep. And that reminds me, what I haven't heard, was that the last one?
Yeah.
Quick fix. No quick fix. Cringe. Massively cringe.
Yeah, maybe not. So let's look at the combat specialties here.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a specialty.
So, okay, so we have 3
cringe,
combat specialties. So, again, you can pick basically perk 1, 2, and 3 will have red perks, blue perks, and like green perks inside of it, for example. And if you pick all of them from the same category, you get a bonus specialty perk. So let's see what they say. So equipping 3 perks of the same combat specialty category. So there's Enforcer, Recon, or Strategist will activate its combat specialty. So for Enforcer, killing enemies grants a temporary buff to movement speed and health regen rate. Recon, enemies can be seen through walls for a short time after respawn. A HUD edge indicator flashes when an enemy is outside your view. Okay, so you get high alert. And you leave no death skulls when killing enemies.
Okay. And then strategist was the last one, right?
Yeah. Earn a score bonus for objectives and destroying enemy content. See enemy content through walls for a short distance. Deploy, upgrade, and field. Those all suck. Those are not very good, to be honest. Well, that last one certainly is not.
Well, no,
Enforcer's interesting too. But so Enforcer is what? So Enforcer is red, I believe. Yeah, so then what would you run? Okay, so with Enforcer, you can run like double time, gung ho, for example, and then like assassin or one of those first ones we talked about. So that's a pretty good category.
Yeah.
Or like scavenger. That's an interesting category. So you could run scav, gung ho, double time, and then your bonus would be a temporary buff to movement speed after getting a kill. That's good, actually. That's a really good category.
Well, to me, it depends on... So Enforcer was killing enemies gives you temporary increased movement speed and faster health regen. Is that what it said? Was that the wording?
Yes, it was. Health regen rate. So that is quick fix, yeah.
Well,
kind of.
That doesn't sound like quick fix to me. Because quick fix is if I get a kill, I immediately begin my health regen. I don't know if it's even faster than a normal health regen or not. It's just that it starts sooner. Because if I don't have quick fix and I take damage, I have to wait 5 seconds before my health starts regenning. Unless I get a kill, in which case my health immediately starts regenning, but it regens at the same rate as normal. I just don't have to wait as long as I get a kill. Whereas Enforcer, it's saying your health regens faster. I don't know if that means that it begins regenning immediately. I care way more about the health regen starting sooner than I do the rate at which it regens. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it says killing enemies grants a temporary buff to movement speed and health regen rate.
Yeah, see.
Yeah,
they
so
could just be unclear, but that does not sound like quick fix to me. It sounds worse, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Which isn't, it still sounds good, to be clear. Like getting faster regen is still good, especially if you pair that with, well, no, if you paired it with stims, it probably wouldn't matter because stim is probably faster than both.
I'm going to take pictures of the categories. I'm just dumping these in Discord multiplayer general real quick for us and then everybody else real quick.
Yeah.
Just like the perk categories and what's in them. So if you guys are here and want to look, there we go. I'm not posting every single one with every description, but they're basic images. So
we can see the
but
colors
so
here too.
Enforcer seems the best, the red one. Because then, so Recon, that's going to be the one where you get high alert essentially as your specialty. That's the one where you're going to be running like Ghost, Tracker, Ninja. So I guess that would be pretty good actually. Well, no, because you have to choose Ninja or Ghost because they're in the same category. So you choose Ninja or Ghost, then you could choose like Tracker, and then you could choose Cold-Blooded, for example, and then you get high alert.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing that one in multiplayer. But also, you don't have to do the specialty things. So
yeah, you don't have to do the specialty things at all.
You could still just run, yeah. But interesting. I feel like I actually would run a specialty and do Enforcer.
Yeah, so I'm also noticing, I was going to say certain perks have the most, or certain specialties have the most selection, but that's actually not true. They all have the same. It looks like they all have 7, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then the 3, okay, so Overkill does say equip any non-melee weapon in primary and secondary slots. So it's either or. And then Perk Greed is just equip an extra perk in general.
Yeah.
So you just get 1 perk. Okay, so that's what it was. Okay, I think we did know that and we just forgot it. So Perk Greed is 1 extra perk from any slot, I guess.
I see. Okay.
So then you actually could run Ghost and Ninja and 2 more blue perks. And then also get the specialty, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if you need 3 perks to be the same color for the specialty bonus, or all perks to be the same color.
Oh, if you're running Perk Greed?
Yeah, because then I could, like, what if I ran Perk Greed, and then in Perk 1 I took 2 reds, Perk 2 I took 1 red, Perk 3 I took a green. Do I still get my red specialty bonus? Because that's still 3 red perks.
That's kind of nutty. I didn't think about that. And I would imagine you do get the specialty just from choosing 3. That's what I would imagine, but who knows? Interesting.
Or if it doesn't work that way, I could just pick a red perk 1, 2, 3, and then as my bonus perk, I can pick like a blue perk 2 or something, and then still get my red specialty. So like either way, it'd be pretty doable. Yeah. You just wouldn't be able to get 2 of the same. Well, you would be able to get 2 of the same color, but then you'd be running 4 potentially of the same color, which still would be pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that depends. That's the thing is, like, we don't know what all the wild cards are, first of all. But like right now, since we only know of 3, not super competitive. If I'm playing multiplayer, Overkill already see ya. Don't need it. Super Giga don't need it.
Yep.
So that's already gone. So then you have Perk Greed or Gunfighter. Like, well, okay, well, what if I'm leveling that shotgun that only has 7 attachment slots? Do I really want to run a wild card for 2 extra attachment slots? Probably not. I don't need an optic, for example, on a shotgun. So I would be running Gunfighter or whatever it's called for like 1 extra attachment. Or I could run Perk Greed, which could potentially unlock specialty bonus, which I wouldn't otherwise get, and another perk. That's really, really good. So like that wild card slot is not competitive right now, because we just don't know what the other wild cards are. But I do like this system a lot. I think it's really cute, actually. And I'm excited to play with it. And it actually is seeming like it's not pick 10, but kind of like what we have right now in multiplayer, with how many vests there are now and how many trade-offs each vest has, and then how you can get the same benefit by equipping it in a gear slot instead. Like, there's so much mixing and matching you can do with perks right now in multiplayer that makes the game very not cookie cutter at all, which is really cool. And it looks like you're gonna we might see the same kind of deal in this game. Because it is not obvious to me at all right now what would be a cookie cutter like perk setup at all. Like, it's not obvious at all to me, because a lot of these perks are quite good, but then it's like, do I want the specialty? Do I not? How do I get it? What do I have to sacrifice? It looks like there's going to be some sacrifice of something you would want, which is really cool. Yeah. I am a little disappointed though with the specialty bonuses. And I almost wish you could pick between like 2 specialties per color. That would be really cool. But that's a lot of
maybe that's something they add in later. Because I mean, even from what MW3 has shown us this year is we get perks and equipment in the game's life cycle now, which we didn't really used to ever get. So maybe we see that. Yeah, maybe we see multiple combat specialties with every season. You know, they add another option. So, you know, season 1, maybe we'll get another specialty to choose from for Enforcer.
Yeah,
we'll probably see new wildcards every season or every couple seasons. But yeah. And then for those of you listening as well, in our Discord and multiplayer general, Riker just posted a bunch of screenshots that show every description of every single perk, actually, if you guys want to look through those at all. Or just
Riker, make that an Immigrant album. Be a doll. That'd be much easier. And then
well, I mean, they're in like small images. It's not like it's, I don't know. It's
okay.
They're not really big. It's not like it takes up a bunch of space. It's easy to read. And you can scroll through them on Discord too. But let me see if there is any other breaking information he's released. Okay, he's showing some gameplay here. I don't know if we had leaks regarding a Warzone map. The map protocol could be a part of one. The entire terrain has collision. Oh, is this that one map we saw? Hold on, let me link this to you real quick. Let me do a little link for you here.
Okay.
Remember the image we saw of that map that had a bunch of water that you had to cross?
Sure do remember that, unfortunately.
This kind of looks like it. I kind of think it is, because there are 2 bridges. There is a lot of water. I mean, it's an islands map.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
It looks pretty, but you know
water.
what? Maybe this is kind of this year's version of Vondel or something. Maybe a little bit.
It doesn't look that big. You're right. Well, no, it kind of looks pretty big, actually.
I don't think. Well, this wouldn't be the BR map, I don't think. Does it look big? It's hard to tell when he's up this high. It looks pretty big,
dude. Yeah. Look to the right, like where the London Bridge is. It looks pretty big, dude. I think this is a big map, yeah, unfortunately.
Verdansk is not coming back, confirmed, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I sure hope this isn't the main BR map. I mean, this is like dead ass 40% of the map is water.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Maybe even 50, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they could change how water mechanics work, to be fair. Like, maybe they stop letting us shoot in the water or have the recoil just be absurd. But...
Okay, well, one of these areas across the bridge, like, there's no detail to anything. So I think it's all... Yeah, a lot of these buildings just have 0 detail. So I think it's just outside of the actual area you play in. So maybe it's a Resurgence map, or like I said, a Vondel type sized map.
A new Vondel size map with that player count would go crazy. I would love to see that. So if it's that, I would put up with the water for sure. But yeah, we just don't know. So
yeah, anyways. But all right, we can go back to the weapon attachments for now. I'll keep an eye on his Twitter.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it and let us know. But yeah, those perks, that's cool. That's good to see. Some of them are terrible, by the way. So I tried to write them all down as you were talking. Like Bruiser, for example, in perk 1. Melee kills, like, what did it do? It's something terrible.
Melee or finishing moves, like, increased your movement speed or something. That's like
so...
It was...
I mean, that's a good...
Let me find it again, because it was horrific.
It's good to have that perk when you're, like, grinding your knife camos. That's it. Like, that's the only reason that anyone should ever be using this.
Okay. Melee kills and finishing moves replenish health and earn extra score. Okay!
So that sounds like quick fix, and that's what makes me think the Enforcer specialty is not quick fix, because they would have worded it that way. Because that clearly says, if you get a melee kill, your health starts regenning now. You know what I mean? unfortunately. So I don't know why everyone's allergic to quick fix. Cringe. It was not in the game for MW3 at launch either. Just give me quick fix now. But anyway, that's a terrible perk. Ninja move more quietly. Massive W. Big fan of that. Ghost is undetectable while moving, so not while you're stationary. That's good as well. A couple other things I wanted to point out. Reload while tack sprinting implies, again, that you can reload while sprinting by default. That's really good because you can't even do that in multiplayer right now in MW3. You have to run commando gloves to be able to do that. So that's really cool as a default option. And then reload while tack sprinting, that's impossible, period, right now. So that's going to be super interesting. I wonder what the animation looks like, and I wonder what speed you run at. Because like right now with commando gloves, you can reload while sprinting, but you don't move as quickly as a sprint. You just move faster than a jog. So reload while tack sprinting, I'm assuming that's going to be like you move faster than normal sprint, but slower than tack sprinting without reloading, I would guess, which is still very cool. I like that that's an option. Let's see. And then some more terrible perks. Dispatcher, you get hardline, but only for non-lethal kill streaks. Okay. Fast hand's pretty trash too. Let's see.
So hold on. So Dispatcher also said stacks with bankroll. What was bankroll? Was that a perk?
Bankroll is you start each life with some score towards your next score streak.
Okay.
So you would start with some score, and if you had Dispatcher, you would only need whatever 300 instead of 400 for a UAV. So you could get a UAV by like getting an assist or something. So yeah, just awful. But there are some other interesting ones. Vigilance. Your HUD shows when you're on the minimap, you're immune to counter UAV and scrambler. So we've had a perk like that before, where you're like immune to counter UAVs and you're immune to scramblers. In Cold War, I forget what it was called, and it was okay because it is nice being immune to counter UAVs, especially when they're annoying to shoot down. This game, they're super easy to shoot down, but in other games they have been not as easy. Like counter UAVs have been actual planes before rather than just stationary objects, so that's something. But what's super interesting to me is HUD shows when you're on the minimap. So that's like a very new feature that we just got in Warzone, where your minimap will be like outlined in red to indicate that you are in fact on UAV. Having this as a multiplayer perk, I think is actually quite cool. Because I would assume this, well, they worded it carefully. Your HUD shows when you're on an enemy's minimap. So it's not saying when you're on an enemy's UAV, it's saying when you're on an enemy's minimap. So that's going to include when you shoot your gun without a silencer, your minimap is going to have that red highlight for exactly the amount of time that you're on someone's minimap until it like times out or whatever. So you're going to really know exactly how all those mechanics work. I think that's actually quite cool. And then let's see. That's pretty much it in terms of like interesting new perks. So, yeah. Pretty cool.
This is cool to have though, because maybe even this month, if we wanted to do a BO6 type Patreon episode, we can do like a little setup guide almost of what we would run in Cold War or something.
Yeah.
Now that we have all this information.
Yeah, and I've color coded this too. I almost want to like save this somewhere, but for now,
I think also the fact that we have screenshots and now that he posted, will be good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go back to some more attachments here. So this next barrel, also for the LR762, is the CHF barrel. Cocky Kev with the $10 super chat. Let's go. Cheers. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much for the 10 bones, Kev. Cheers to you. Talk more American though, but also you gave us American dollars, so W. Thank you, Kev. We appreciate it. Plus, you've been kev'd.
He did it. He put it in a Imgur album for you, buddy.
An absolute king. Thank you, Reichard. You're a god. All right. Thank you, Kev,
I
as well.
pinned it.
Thank you, Kev Moore, for the super chat. We appreciate you, dude. Thank you. All right. Today's episode is brought to you by our Patreon, where we offer our members all of our episodes early access and ad-free. Starting at just $5 a month at the gold tier, patrons also get 3 raw, uncensored Call of Duty bonus episodes each and every month, in addition to, of course, every bonus episode we've ever done in the past, and a unique Discord role as well. We just released 2 bonus episodes at the end of the month of July, the first of which last week was our very first mixed bag episode. So we took a lot of little micro topics, both from our own little brains and from you guys, and talked about them. So they were basically episode topics that wouldn't constitute a full episode on their own. So for example, someone suggested we talk about what is necessary for a healthy long range meta. So we talked about that for like 10-15 minutes. So it's not like a full episode, but we bundled a bunch of things like that and then did a full episode that way. And that was really good, really fun. And our patrons that have listened to it already have loved it. And we even made our own little chat channel for micro topic suggestions for mixed bag episodes. And then after that, our most recent Patreon episode was on season 5. We talked about the anti-cheat and to what degree it actually works, Superstore, and our evolving opinion on that, the current gun meta and attachment meta and stuff, and more. That was also quite a good episode, and all of our patrons could listen to that as well, including you, if you signed up. If you wanted more content, you could go platinum at $10 a month, where you'd get everything from the gold tier alongside one Anything Goes Q&A episode, where only you guys can ask the questions or hear the answers. Q&As publicly will now only be Call of Duty and gaming related questions that we will answer, so if you wanted to hear us talk about anything other than that, you'd have to join the Patreon. And once you sign up at Platinum, you get access to that Q&A questions channel where you can ask us literally whatever you want. And those are always fan favorites. And then Damascus at $20 a month, if you wanted even more, gets you all of that, plus a behind the scenes episode every month. Those are the absolute favorite episodes. A monthly Damascus only patron hangout, and access to the most active Discord channel we have, the Damascus Lounge. If you hated hearing this ad, stay upset about it. Plus there are timestamps. So I don't know why you're so mad, man. You can skip it so easily, especially on YouTube, where some guy was like, hey, put the fries in the bag, Unk. We're not joining your Patreon. Many people are, by the way, kid, but also, you commented this on YouTube, brother. The timestamps are so easy. Just skip it. Or join the Patreon. Better yet, patreon.com/thedropshot. Let's get back to the show. CHF barrel, another barrel for the LR762, which is that sniper we were talking about earlier. So they write a lot of words, big words. Cons are vertical recoil control. Okay, self-explanatory. And aim down sight speed. Good, also self-explanatory. Pros, 3 carrots. Legs hit location multiplier. Whoa, that's interesting. So we have seen something kind of similar to this before when we had hollow point rounds in Vanguard. I think they were called hollow point. And basically what that did was it increased your damage multiplier for limbs, but it decreased your damage multiplier for like head and upper chest. So you kind of were evening out your damage spread. So that would be really good on like a hipfire build where you're not precisely aiming all your bullets and you'd rather have more limb damage at the cost of less like torso damage, because it doesn't cost an attachment slot, number one, since you're guaranteed 10 attachment slots, and number two, because again, you're not aiming super precisely for upper chest or head. So overall, you're getting more damage that way. This is different because you just get more leg multiplier damage. So you just do more damage when you shoot people in the legs, but you don't do less damage if you shoot them anywhere else. Super interesting concept. Now, is this a good attachment? Obviously not. Of course not. I don't know why they even added it as an attachment, to be honest with you.
Well, if you read the description that were the big words, it says a modified barrel that extends one-shot kill potential to upper and lower legs. So maybe you should read those big words next time,
They're
buddy,
scary,
that's pretty dang good. That's good.
Actually, you're right. Yeah,
hey, snipers are going to be busted in a Treyarch game. Shocker. Yeah, they're going to be good. Some kid's going to be one-shotting me to my toe and killing me as I'm shooting him 6 times across the map. Got it.
And they explicitly say upper and lower legs, so that is literally true. You can use this attachment and shoot someone dead ass in the foot and one shot kill them at full health in multiplayer. Got it.
Oh no.
Miserable attachment. You're absolutely right. All you have to do is shoot someone in the center of their body anywhere. Just don't shoot them in the arms and you get a one-hit kill with this attachment. You were correct. That's busted OP and dumb, and I hate it. Yeah. Vertical recoil control, don't care about that con at all. Aim down sight speed, I do care about, but not enough to not give me this attachment. That's a real generous one-hit kill zone. So pretty yikes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'll be running Sleeper Agent to appear as a friendly, and then I'll be sitting in their spawn shooting them all in the foot and one-shotting them. Yeah, W.
Yeah, very cool. So, okay, hate that. You're right. And classic Treyarch making snipers disgusting in multiplayer. Yeah, so moving on. We have a short barrel. No cons. This gives you 3 carrots, jumping, sprint to fire speed, and jumping aim down sight speed. Okay, that one's a little unclear. Does this mean that if I'm jumping, I will aim down sight faster than if I'm not jumping?
So if I had to guess, it's once again where we still have the penalties in the game of ADS penalties when you jump. And so now this is just decreasing that.
Yeah.
But also if that's all it is doing, kind of a waste of an attachment because the penalties are not that substantial anymore. Not like they were last year under Infinity Ward. Maybe we don't have penalties to start with, and this just makes it even faster ADS when jumping. That could be kind of cool, but the description says an exceptional lightweight barrel designed to improve in-air handling with improvements to in-air aiming speed and in-air sprint to fire speed.
Yeah. And I like this too. So this is showing the attachment on a sniper. I'm not running this on a sniper, obviously, especially when I have to give up one-shotting people to the toe. I'm never doing that. But a short barrel on a sub would be really good. You get faster jump, sprint to fire, and ADS speed with no downsides. So you're not losing like damage range or bullet velocity like you normally would with a short barrel. That's pretty nutty. I like that. I like that attachment. That's cool. So another one we don't have the name of, but the pro is a chevron. Wait, is this the carrot or are the other things carrots? One's a carrot, one's a chevron.
I don't know.
I'm going to call it a chevron. It's like, imagine 4 carrots. It turns into a chevron, a different shape. This is like a Giga Pro. The Giga Pro for this attachment, it's a handguard. This handguard improves accuracy by increasing hold breath time and reducing gasping sway. And then the Pro says aim down sight focus. So that description actually tells you what aim down sight focus means. Longer hold breath time. Cool. And then reducing gasping sway doesn't really matter, but interesting that it gives you that also. And what that means is if you've held your breath too long and your guy has to breathe and then you stop, like, and then your reticle starts swaying, it'll sway less with this handguard when that happens.
Yeah.
That should never be happening to you, by the way.
I thought that part could be pretty important, actually.
I am never holding my breath so long that I'm going to shoot through my gasping sway such that I want it to not be as dramatic.
Well, a lot of times people would be like holding an angle, holding their breath, waiting for the guy to peek up that just peeked 2 times and then he doesn't. So they're waiting and then he finally peeks up right as they start just gasping for that fresh air, you know?
Yeah.
That dirty fresh air.
Sure.
And then, so, I mean, if that sway is reduced to not much at all, that'd be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much it would reduce it. You're right. Yeah,
it depends. I would imagine there will not be much sway in this game anyways, because again, it's snipers in a Treyarch game, and also this isn't MW2 anymore, so I don't think there will be a ton of sway in that way. So interesting. So with some of these, by the way, a lot of these things are not going to show up in detailed stats, kind of like what we have this year, how firing aim stability is incredibly important, and probably the majority of the player base don't pay attention to it or realize what it even is, and how important it can be for your aim and overall recoil control, things like jumping, sprint to fire, and jumping ADS speed. There's no way they can show anything like that in detailed stats, unfortunately.
They could, but it doesn't look like they're going to.
I don't think they're going to, yeah.
Because we already have that picture, and I'm looking at it again. I don't see anything like idle sway.
So kind of like what we have now, like detailed stats are incredibly important, and I love having them, but also there will be a lot of pros and cons that just don't show up there. So you got to remember to look at both. Pros, cons list, and the detailed stats.
Yeah, the simplified and the complicated one. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, but yeah, you could be right on that. So anyway, ergonomic grip is another one. It's a rear grip. No cons. Once again, pros are ADS speed, slide to fire speed, and dive to fire speed.
I like that.
So this is a new benefit, dive to fire speed. And it is relevant because right now there is a dive to fire penalty. You can't just dive and immediately start shooting as soon as you hit the ground. There is like a delay. Yeah. So and it's impossible to change that right now unless you use a different gun. Maybe it's different between guns, but beyond that, it's not modifiable with attachments or anything. Now it will be, and that's super interesting because that's one of the big reasons you don't dive a gunfight ever. Is that it's that delay right now is long. You cannot shoot for quite a while. But if you can build a gun with a ton of attachments that give you dive to fire speed, that becomes a viable way potentially to take a corner. Is just dolphin dive it, and then you're like, and then hashtag Omni movement, you're like lying on your side and you can start shooting quite quickly, especially if attachments that tend to give you sprint to fire speed also give you dive to fire speed. Then you can not even build it necessarily for dive to fire, but you'll get good dive to fire as a consequence of building for sprint to fire, which is what you do want. And then you can have this option in your kit without having to make like a very niche dive to fire build, because no one's going to do that. Kind of in the same way that you can build a gun for hip fire right now. And a consequence of that is going to be very good tack stance spread as well. Those attachments are almost always the same. Whatever underbarrel, for example, the Bruin Bastion angled, that is the attachment you want to run for the best hip fire possible. That's also the best attachment you want to run for the best tack stance spread possible. So you get two benefits even though you're only building for tack stance or only building for hip fire. I could see dive to fire and slide to fire and sprint to fire behaving that way. Now, maybe not, because on this attachment, you don't get sprint to fire speed at all, but you do get dive to fire and slide to fire and aim down sight speed. So maybe that'll instead be tied to like ADS speed, but that would still be quite good. And I like that a lot. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it kind of like what you're saying with Omni movement, that is going to make some of these, I think, very good, like especially dive to fire. In one of the videos he posted showing off Omni movement, you could tell like in the little side sprint, side jog to dive, there is a point in time there where you cannot shoot at all, it appears, from like the way the gun is angled, just the mechanic of it. So this would probably be, because like once you hit the ground even, you can kind of tell, I think the reticle disappears and it comes back up again. So something like dive to fire could be incredibly important in this game with Omni movement, because you can just jump around those corners sideways and fire a lot quicker. That could go kind of busted OP, yeah. So interesting to see they added this. I think it's cool. Still a little worried about Omni movement, but we'll see.
Yeah. So next one's also quite interesting. Light stock. So it's a stock. No cons once again. 3 carats for hip fire movement speed. So that means while you're shooting in hip fire, you move faster. That's a really good attachment for hip fire builds, obviously. And then this one I think is even cooler, strafing movement speed. Now, you might think we already have that. It's called aim down sight movement speed. Wrong. Strafing would be different. Strafing means I don't have to be ADS'd. If I'm looking one way and walking right or left, I'm going to move faster, whether or not I'm ADS'd. That's pretty interesting, especially with Omni movement. That becomes potentially even more relevant and more interesting. But if it's also different than aim down sight movement speed, because aim down sight movement speed implies you would move straight forward and backward faster if you got a benefit to that, whereas with strafing movement speed, you would not get that benefit. It would only be when strafing, but you wouldn't have to be ADS'd. Very interesting. Like the idea quite a lot. Next one is tactical laser. Okay, so I'm going to read the description for this one. Press left on D-pad to activate tactical stance to balance mobility and accuracy. So the pros are you get tac stance. The cons are the laser is visible at the hip and aim down sight. So tac stance is coming back, which is a massive W. However, it is now tied, it looks like, to an attachment rather than just being something you can do on any gun regardless. I don't know how I feel about that. On the one hand, I didn't know we were going to get tac stance back or not. We are. That's huge and a W, and I'm very glad for it. On the other hand, if it requires an attachment slot and that attachment slot is not giving me improved tac stance spread, then that implies tac stance is going to be a little worse than it is now. Because right now, I'm running extended mags and then 4 attachments that help my tac stance spread. But in this game, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to run extended mags and tactical laser just so I can use the functionality. And then I'm only going to have 3 attachment slots to increase my tac stance spread. That's kind of unfortunate. Plus, laser is always going to be visible.
Hold on. Stop.
Okay.
This is on a sniper. You can't tac stance now on a sniper to begin with.
Oh, is that true?
You can only do it with a canted laser. I'm almost positive, right? Is anyone in chat able to confirm?
My current tac stance build does not have a laser at all.
Correct, but yeah, so with snipers, I don't think you can tac stance whatsoever. You have to use that canted laser build.
I see what you're saying.
So I think this is just essentially a canted laser.
Got it.
More than anything, the screenshot was to show off the fact that tac stance is returning to the game.
I understand. I think you're right.
Which is good, because it's good for once they're building something and adding off of it. They're adding what they think belongs in the game, something like Omni movement. They're progressing. They're not doing the Infinity Ward, Modern Warfare 3, Warzone 2 Holocaust that Raz has discussed in depth. Yeah. They're not taking everything they've built, obviously on accident in Warzone 1, and just completely fucking destroying it in Warzone 2. So right. I think this is great that, you know, I don't personally use tac stance much at all, but stop adding cool features that some people use and then getting rid of it the next game. Just stop.
Exactly.
So awesome. Kudos to Treyarch for leaving this in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about the sniper thing, by the way. Yeah, I think you will be able to do it regardless. And except on snipers, you'll need a thing. So that's cool. Very huge. And I totally agree with you. Yeah, that's like so tac stance, they actually kind of got it right on the first try. Like tac stance right now, it's a really cool feature. It's really interesting. It's viable, but it's not overpowered. And that's why you see some people who are really good run it. And then some people who are really good do not ever run it. That's how you know it's like a good feature. It's not OP, but it's not terrible either. Like genuinely really good players will use it. So they happen to get it right on the first try, but even if they hadn't, you're usually not going to get it right on the first try. You have to keep iterating on it. Like you have to keep trying to make it better. And then eventually it does become a cool new feature that people can use. So the fact that they are just like building on it, is a massive W. Some things maybe don't build on, like blind fire. Yeah, you can probably scrap that one right away. But like, I'm sure if we thought about it, we could think of other things they've tried that were not good on their first attempt, but they didn't try to like make it better the next game. So then it's just gone. So that I'm very glad to see that's not the case with tac stance. Yeah. So
yeah.
Next one is the fast motion laser. The laser is visible. That's the con. The pros are jumping hip fire spread, diving hip fire spread, and sliding hip fire spread. So just a hip fire attachment, and a good one too. A really good one, I would say. Because like right now, really all you can do for hip fire is put on an attachment that increases hip fire spread, period. And then you will, so basically what you're doing is you're increasing your base hip fire reticle, making it tighter, but then that is still affected equally by jumping or sprinting or firing. But now you will have attachments to mitigate specific instances of hip fire spread. in addition to base hip fire spread, I'm sure as well. So that's really cool, actually, and really good. I quite like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is cool too. So I guess this doesn't change anything when it comes to just your base hip fire spread at all when moving.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
You know, yeah. So it's just for the specifics of jumping, diving, sliding. Where again, there will be other lasers that help with just base hip fire spread probably, and then this one is helping with moving, diving, sliding. So a lot of different ways you can do these things.
And
they're kind of cooking, not gonna lie.
Yeah. I like it, dude. You're going to have to figure out, like, do I want just better base hip fire spread across the board? Or do I not really care about that and I only want good, like, sliding hip fire spread because I'm going to slide a lot of my kills? That's like a good question.
Movement demon.
Yeah, that's like a good question, and you're going to have to, like, think about that. Or are you going to want to mix and match? Like, all right, my barrel, I'm going to use base hip fire attachment barrel. But for my laser, I'm going to do like the sliding specific one instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super interesting. Super cool. Going to be a lot of combos, I think. And those will, if it is going to work that way, then you can also tailor it to your play style. Like, you know, some people, when they use hipfire builds, like if you're on controller, for example, you probably don't care about base hipfire spread. You probably only care about sliding hipfire spread because you have auto tack. So for you to use a hipfire gun, you have to slide every kill anyway. So then you should build it for only sliding hipfire spread. You shouldn't care about base hipfire spread. Whereas like me on KBAM, there are a lot of hipfire kills I will get where I am not sliding because I don't have auto tack since I'm on KBAM. So there are times when I just want to like stand in the pocket, maybe like do some crouches and strafing and hip fire that way. So I would build it differently. And now there's an option, it sounds like, or it looks like. So that's really cool, actually. And then here's another attachment, target laser. So this cons downside is laser is visible in ADS. The pros are aim walking steadiness, good. And then aiming idle sway delay. Okay.
Cool.
Don't know what that means, actually.
So that's like what we have now. How now, you know how Sledgehammer changed it, this game's life cycle, where when you ADS, your sway does not start swaying to the strength it does until after a second and a half, whatever it is, of ADSing, 2 seconds. So this is just delaying that idle sway so you can ADS longer, maybe 2 seconds before sway kicks in.
Got it.
I mean, virtually remove sway, but I like this feature if they're not going to. I think it's cool. I like the way it is in MW3. I think, again, Sledgehammer did a good job. It's actually crazy how good Sledgehammer has gotten as a development studio, by the way.
Yeah, W Sledgehammer.
That was a smart little move. So it's like you can't just, if you ADS now and just hold an angle like everyone in the CDL does, you get more sway. But if you wait and ADS, you're not getting sway for a little bit. So it's a nice little trade-off, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I also think it's fairly realistic if you care
now.
about that, by the way.
Yeah, if you're a little realism nerdy, I agree. But yeah, I think this is a cool feature. What does it say? Yeah, briefly reducing the strength of sway.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see a lot of idle sway this year. I'm trying to think of Cold War, and I remember the snipers almost having like no idle sway, right? They didn't move much, did they?
In Cold War, snipers were
not as much
extremely strong, so yeah, probably not.
I don't think they moved much like an Infinity Ward game, or just like an Infinity Ward game, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, we do have confirmation from chat, Jakin, which is Raz. Raz opened his game and checked, and there is no tack stance on snipers, and only some can use that laser. So this is kind of the same thing. This is just laser on that sniper is just giving you the ability to attack stance.
Yeah.
Which it would be. And it says laser visible in hip and ADS, so it's a canted laser, that one attachment.
That makes sense, yeah. I've never tried attack stance sniper in MW3.
You haven't, man? You haven't thought about trying that yet?
No. That would probably, it could go bonkers on certain guns, maybe. It would. Okay, so now we have some other screenshots here. So this next one is a fire mod. So we're looking at the list of fire mods on this same gun, I'm assuming. Yeah, the LR762. And there are 3 of them. One of which is called NATO FMJ. One of which is called Overpressured. And then one of which is the one we're mousing over is called Rapid Fire. And Rapid Fire has no cons. The pros are faster rechambering speed. and it says a lightweight bolt to improve rechamber speed. So first thing I want to flag is that the attachment category we're in is called fire mods, yet rapid fire is described as a bolt. So right now there is bolt categories on snipers, and the way you would get rapid fire, the fire mod in MW3, is by going to your bolt attachment category and changing the bolt. This to me implies that there will not be a bolt category for snipers, because if there were, why would you have a lightweight bolt be a fire mod attachment category and then also have a bolt attachment category? Doesn't make sense. Pretty weird that they're doing it this way also, by the way, because in addition to a bolt in the fire mod category, you have FMJ ammo in the fire mod category. So this kind of lends credence to Tanner's earlier theory with the attachment points wording. In real life, there's nothing stopping me from changing to a lightweight bolt and also running FMJ ammunition in my cartridge, in my magazine. I could do that in real life. So that would mean having 2 fire mods, which is to say 2 attachments from one category. That kind of implies to me that maybe you can do that for certain attachment categories or under certain conditions, namely when you're running the gunfighter or whatever it's called fire mod. Pretty interesting, if true. Because it would be very weird that you can only use a bolt or an ammo type, but not both. That would be pretty silly.
Yeah.
You know?
And that kind of answers our question, because we had talked about with the reveal, what the hell is a fire mod? Why is it not called ammo type? What is this?
Yeah.
So that's the reason. It is, because I think I'd even mentioned that, and I'm pretty sure some people made fun of me saying that wasn't going to be the case, things like rapid fire coming back to the game. But here we go. So maybe we even have rapid fire on like SMGs or something, because I mean, we had recoil booster in Vanguard, so it's not too crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And by the way, the overpressured rounds were bullet velocity. I don't think it had any cons, and the FMJ rounds were bullet pin and kill streak damage.
Okay.
With,
standard.
I'm pretty sure no cons as well.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty standard stuff there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting, and I'm looking real closely at that.
Did you flag it?
It's been flagged. Yeah, attachment points. So anyway. This next screenshot here is a look at a custom loadout from a zoomed out perspective. So it's as if you are selecting which custom class you want. So you see everything. So we have primary with 5 little buttons at the top indicating how many attachment slots are taken up. Same with secondary. And then there's a separate thing that's called melee. This guy has a knife. So, okay, I am curious what else could go there. Is this where you would have to pick whether you want a knife or a combat axe, for example? So
the
you can
axe
run
was
throwing knife.
lethal.
Okay,
So no.
So no. Okay. So melee is going to be like knife, tonfas, samurai swords, all that goofy shit.
Because remember they had said melee was going to be its own category. So yeah, I
Which
mean,
it is.
I hope you can't just run around with tonfas. Also, it does show a level, by the way, for the knife. So that is like a knife that you must actually level up like a normal gun. Like, because so when you're looking through your primary and secondaries, I'm almost positive there's no like melee category, right? Because it's in its own category.
Correct.
So it's always in its own category. So I guess you still have to do the camo grind for it. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's just no attachments. That's how it is right now in MW3. You had to get your knife to like level 6 and then... even though there's no attachments or whatever. So it'll probably work the same way. Because we do have the knife selected, and unlike the primary and secondary, we don't have the buttons for attachments. So we're not getting melee weapon attachments. That's a good thing, by the way. So yeah, that's... Although having a dedicated melee slot, I still hate it. But
that's more what I meant. It's like maybe because everyone just gets a melee this year, they're not making... you do knife camo grinds, like you don't have to actually get kills with it. It's just something you always have. That's more what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that it says level 1 is showing, yes, it's still going to be part of a camo grind.
Yeah, I think so, unfortunately. So anyway, the next couple things, we have tactical, lethal, field upgrade, and then perk 1, 2, and 3, specialty, and then wild card. So it does look like you're going to select 1 wild card. You're guaranteed 1 of each perk. You might get the specialty if you color coordinate them. and then that's pretty much it. Yeah. And I would assume there's going to be a wild card where you get like 2 lethals. So when that happens, it's probably going to be 2 of the same lethal, for example. And then, yeah. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, that's not too much to be learned there. And then what is this next screenshot I'm looking at?
So the next screenshot here, it's a screenshot of the customizable HUD. He went through it in the video, but the video's gone. But essentially, there are layouts that you can pick from the HUD. And then I assume you can also just totally customize it. Well, they said you could, so you should be able to. Yeah. But there are base layouts you can just pick. So there's a default layout that they have selected.
Oh, that's cool.
Round mini map, so default, actually, look at that. Mini map's at the bottom of your screen, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hovering over focus. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's showing that way. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's just a bunch of different layouts. And as they talked about, you can put it anywhere. You can put the mini map wherever you want. One of them, I'm pretty sure, remove the mini map entirely for some reason.
Yeah.
And then the Modern Warfare preset changes the mini map to a square mini map instead of the default round. Not sure if you'll actually be able to see further with that one or not, but yeah, he just kind of went through it for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, showed everything you can customize. It's cool. Very excited for this because even in the one we're looking at right now, the guy's field upgrade selection and then ammo is about on his monitor about 1 inch below his reticle. So you can put this stuff wherever the hell you want it, which is great. Just totally customizable.
Really cool. Yeah, super cool. And the fact that there are some pre-made loadouts or layouts for you, quite a few of them actually, by the way, is very interesting, and I like that. Because then because if you have no idea what to do, you can kind of scroll through them to get some ideas, and then be like, okay, I mostly like this one, but I wish the mini-map were here instead. So you could pick that one and then customize and move it wherever you want. So this is really cool. One other thing I want to flag is we're looking at the layouts and the pre-made layouts for you. So there's default, mini-map bottom left, flipped, focus, dot hunter, immersive, etc. So those are the ones. But 2 of them are locked. So immersive, you can't pick, and streamer, you can't pick. If I can customize my layout, I can just look at what immersive does and move it to exactly the same spot. So what is the purpose of locking a layout? I don't understand what this entails at all. I
don't know either. I was thinking more maybe if this is a beta build, they're just locked because they're not ready yet or something. I also wonder, is streamer mode going to be a whitelist that they give only certain creators that can use the streamer mode preset? Because what I'm assuming is when you use that, it probably changes your teammates' names or something on the HUD or hides them. I don't know, but then how would the person play with that? I don't know. I'm not sure what that would be, but I would guess it's something where, maybe you just can't do certain things without selecting that layout. Maybe you just select a layout and then you customize off of that instead of full-blown customization. So maybe there still has to be one specific layout that you run to customize it the way you want. I don't know, but kind of some other things to know. All of the font, it's all the same as Cold War. So if you liked the feel of the HUD and everything in Cold War, it's the exact same font, all of that. Doesn't look like you can change anything in that regard, but everything else is pretty standard there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the leaks and everything. There's just kind of a few more things I saw from watching videos that kind of wanted to point out. After seeing some of the Omni movement gameplay, I'm less worried about it in general because it doesn't look quite as fast as I kind of originally thought. The gameplay he was showing off, again, though, he's using an AR with no attachments. So I'm sure with an SMG it can be insane. The strafing left and right and the diving wasn't very fast, and then also you could tell, like I was saying, when you dive, it appears you can't shoot during that until you hit the ground, and then your reticle kind of appears again, so there's a delay to be able to fire. So maybe it won't be too busted OP. I really am worried as a K-BAM player of tracking some of these super sweats as they come just flying around the corner, strafing left, sprinting on me, and just getting full-blown rotational because they're moving, and I can't even react. So that might not be fun, but I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see how it actually plays out. It's going to be worse for K-BAM players, I can assure you. I promise you that.
That's where I maybe disagree with you, actually. Because
no, that's 100%. Yeah.
They added climbing boots as a default perk to everyone in multiplayer and in Warzone, and I can't imagine it's going to be harder to track than someone climbing a box right now in Warzone, where they simply teleport 6 feet. It can't get worse as far as I'm concerned. If it does, then see ya, I'm back on controller. It's that simple. Like, it can't get worse is where I'm at right now. So that's why I'm not as worried about it, because like it actually can't get worse than trying to shoot someone.
It can, because if somebody has omni movement and can be diving around every single corner mid gunfight with a fully built SMG, and they're sprinting at tac sprint speed around a corner while also diving and also shooting, that's 100 times worse than one guy climbing a box at one point during my battle royale match, right? I mean, this is something that will happen in almost every gunfight, so
we'll see.
I completely disagree. I just know, too, all the Super Sweat K-BAM players like Metaphor, Reeve, all those guys are like, yeah, Omni movement's going to suck for K-BAM players. It's going to be very hard to track players. But
you
whatever.
could be right, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
matter.
A good point. It is during gunfights, which is way more important. That's fair. You could be right, but I don't know.
Bro says some guy climbing a box 100 meters away is impactful as some guy running around a corner 400 times a game.
Shut up. Have you played a control center before? That's all it is. It's bros teleporting.
Well, that's why I don't play Rebirth. It's for children who are better than me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I hear your concerns. I am also concerned, but I think it's too early to just say for sure it's going to be worse. I'm not necessarily there yet, because people can already slide me while shooting really fast and really difficult to track. So it will almost certainly be as bad, but it might not get worse than that. But maybe it will. Right. So we'll see.
Riker just posted the whole HUD video, by the way. Let's see. So the options are for gameplay HUD. Okay, so there are just regular presets. And then there's minimap shape, minimap rotation, minimap radar backing. Probably the radar is around the minimap rather than at the top. Compass type, vehicle HUD prompts, in-game text chat, player names. You can select if it's full name, whatever.
That's like
clan tag, I would suppose. Yeah. Hit marker visuals, damage-based hit marker. Oh, damage-based hit markers. Oh, wait, no, I guess we technically have that now with headshots. I was thinking damage numbers.
Yeah. Where you get like the 2x instead of the 1.
Well, like how Cold War had, where it showed the damage when you hit somebody. Didn't it say the amount of damage that would pop up? It'd be like 30 damage, whatever you did. Like
on your screen? I don't think so. I don't think we got numbers.
Oh, I'm thinking of the health bar. No, health bar.
Oh,
is what I'm thinking of. Oh. I wonder if we're getting health bar back.
Oh, that's a really good question. If we're getting
health bars back. Because I love
having
having that. I'm a big health bar guy.
You're a health bar guy, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I don't know. It changes the game a lot, because we had health bars in BO4. And that would inform you whether you should push that guy or not. Like, you'll see he's 1 bullet. So you're half health, but you know he's weaker, so you push him. But like right now, you have no idea. Like, you get a hit marker, and it's like, okay, well, that could have been like the 2nd bullet he's been shot by, or the 10th. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if I should push him or not. It changes the game a lot.
Gives you a lot of intel.
Health bars, yeah. Really
forward intel, as they say. Yeah. So our biggest thing was you and I both used to like it because it helped with visibility a lot. Like if some guy's on a head glitch and you barely see him, that health bar pops up, helps so much with visibility, which generally isn't a big issue in Treyarch games. There were some maps in Cold War that were kind of bad, like before they trimmed the hedges on
Cartel,
yes.
Yeah.
But aside from that, the visibility is usually pretty good. Like in MW2, And MW19, I would have loved health bars on every single person I came across always.
Yeah, just for visibility.
That would have made multiplayer a lot better just for visibility for seeing people.
Yeah, I agree.
So I hope that's back. But
and if it did come back, I wonder if it would also come to Warzone, because that would be crazy too. Seeing health bars in Warzone,
I think
would be wild.
I don't think I'd want it in Warzone. I think that's too much information.
That's really strong
for like a more a one life game mode. In pubs, multiplayer doesn't matter. CDL, they can do whatever they do with it. They can force people to not run it. I don't know what they would do. But in a BR, like one life mode, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. Yeah. It would be good for visibility, but it would make team fights really
you'd be like, shoot this guy, he's really like one shot over here, I can see him.
Yeah, it's like if there's like 8 of us in a room and it's like, okay, well, I see one health bar that has a sliver left, 4 of us are going to shoot that guy, and it's going to be really pretty toxic, I think, probably. Yeah, I don't think it would be good. But anyways, on the topic of visibility, yeah, from what I've seen, the visibility does look very good from these leaks. However, the dumb shit leaker didn't spawn in any bots, so I couldn't really look at enemy operators in the dark rooms, but I could look at the dark rooms themselves. And even the shaded areas where there was like no light, the visibility still looked quite good. Like I could see the corner, I could see where the walls intersect. I am not worried about visibility very much. I think it's going to be quite good. Plus, it's a Treyarch game. They have historically the best visibility of all the studios. So I am not worried about it. However, there's an asterisk. It's still too early to tell. But yeah, I am very much not worried. I think it's going to be good. But can't say that for 100% certainty. Yeah.
Yeah, he's posted a couple more clips. One of them is from the big map he was looking at that might be some sort of resurgence map. There are like interactable objects is what he describes it as. There is a computer he goes up to and it says activate security. And there are big windows and a siren goes off when he presses activate and it covers those windows in
with the metal shutters.
With like metal shutters. So you just completely block it off. That's kind of interesting. And then he's showing another one here with like fans or something. What is this doing?
That's actually pretty cool.
Oh, it's a hidden room. So he goes up to a bookcase and you can interact with it. And you open the door. He's now walking in the door. It's like a hidden metal bunker room.
Rose in a Lemony Snicket novel. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's a hidden bedroom, dude. There's like a security system. Okay, he's going through a vent. And then he reboots the security. This is a single player mission. Okay. And then he takes a zip line up. This is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, were they adding Easter eggs to Warzone?
yeah, already.
Holy.
It's Treyarch.
It looks like you get off the zip lines a lot faster, by the way.
Oh, that's good.
He flew off that zip line.
Cool.
Okay.
Got it. Anyway, yeah, Tax Sprint is coming back. We've confirmed that, so that's good. I actually I don't recall seeing any sprinting, but according to you, the sprint speeds look quite fast.
In general, they looked fast. Yeah, there's the walking speed even kind of looks faster than what we have now. The sprinting speed looks faster, and the tac sprint speed. The tac sprint speed and duration looked faster than what we have now.
That's all good to hear. Yeah.
And then one more thing on this big map. Charlie Intel just tweeted, actually, the new Warzone map leaked today is supposedly called Avalon, internally at least. This map, based on rumors, as per Tom Henderson, is supposed to be the next Warzone after Verdansk launches in 2025. That's very unclear. So is Tom saying we're going to have 2 big maps, or is this just a Warzone map, but it could be like, again, like we were saying, a bigger resurgence map?
Yeah, that is
I don't know. But if that's like a main BR map that we have to deal with, horrendous. If you guys saw the gameplay, you would know horrendous map.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. I'm although what I like about that Charlie Intel tweet is that at least we're going to get some Verdansk first.
And actually, Reichard posted that in Warzone chat. I will also pin that so we have it and so you guys can see it.
Yeah, join the Discord if you guys want to see some leaks, because we posted a bunch of them in Discord that will not be taken down.
Yeah.
So We're hosting.
And then
ourselves, so.
last thing here, and some of the other gameplay before the videos went down, when he was going through one of the gun selections screens under camos. So you go to the camo selection, and then under that there are other tabs. So there was a multiplayer tab, there's a zombies tab. There may have even been a third tab, or it was just this last one here. But there was a specific tab under camos that said Warzone. So one, it could be a placeholder, or two, we could be seeing for the first time ever Warzone specific mastery camos, which would go crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how we haven't thought of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I think it's time.
I think it's time
we get them.
And like you were speculating earlier, like what those challenges could be. There are so many like neat ideas that they could do. That would be really cool and could be Warzone specific, you know, like how about like complete 5 contracts while holding this gun, or like wipe 2 squads while using this gun, or, you know, and then a lot of them would be transferable as well. Obviously headshots, kills without dying, things like that. But like you could do Warzone specific ones too, which would be really cool. Or like, you know, I don't know, place top 10. Or win a game of plunder, or win a game of Warzone.
That's the thing, is how does that relate to the gun though? But like what it could be is, you know, if it's like so my thought was like, okay, pick up a bounty contract and kill your bounty 5 times with this specific gun. Because obviously it sounds like it wouldn't be fun, and realistically, I don't know if it would be. But also they could do, the numbers wouldn't have to be anything high. It's not going to be like multiplayer where it's like kill 50 of your bounties with this specific gun, and that's only one of the camos for that gun.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that. It would be more like get 3 bounty kills with this specific gun, get 1 bounty kill with this specific gun, and that gets that camo completed. Next one is inflict 5,000 damage in 1 match with this specific gun. There's a lot of things they could do with it. It definitely would not be as linear and simplified as multiplayer. It might not be fun whatsoever, actually, but regardless, if we are getting a Warzone mastery camo grind, I think that's a really good idea. And yeah, I'm shocked. I've barely ever heard anyone even talk about this. Or think
including
of it, to
us.
be honest.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've kind of mentioned it, but I don't. Yeah, I don't ever think about that at all. So
on the other hand, though, it would be cool to have. On the other hand, getting a mastery camo would be awful and super not fun. Think of how many guns in Warzone there are right now that you would not want to use. It's almost all of them, actually. In fact, it's almost all of them. So like having to get 5 bounty kills with like the Mark II lever action marksman rifle, see ya. I'm done. I'm not playing. Like that sounds miserable. And you'd have to do it for every gun. Knife, launcher camos in Warzone with like SBMM and cheaters, how miserable that would be and how long that would take. Even if it's like, get 1 kill with a Pila in Warzone. Get literally a single kill. That would like take a while, actually. In Warzone, that would really suck. So if they do have a Warzone camo, which I do want them to have, like Warzone camo grind, I'm hoping they take that into account, how much longer it would take, so they lower the numbers. And I hope the challenges are not toxic, like get kills while mounted, for example. That would be really unfortunate. That actually wouldn't be the end of the world, but I'd rather not do that anyway. But also I would hope you can do it in Warzone or Resurgence or Plunder. That would make it super doable. Because Plunder, I think they do consider like a Warzone mode. So if I could do a camo grind playing Plunder, then everything I just said almost doesn't count, actually. Because Plunder players are even worse than multiplayer unranked players. By a massive margin, by the way. So I'll do whatever. I'd get 100 Pila kills in Plunder and not care. It would be faster than doing it in Hardpoint Hardcore. So that would be fine. But would that count? I don't know. But I think there's a lot of fertile ground, and it can potentially be really well done. And the very worst case scenario, it's not well done, and I just don't go for it, like the mastery camo, you know? Like, I'd rather it be there than not.
Oh, I'm not doing the Warzone Master Camo whatsoever. Yeah, but I think it's cool that it's there.
Yeah. So anyway,
or it's just like
it's not it.
Maybe it's like the Warzone rewards type of thing. You know, maybe it's not like a normal camo grind where it's like get kills. It's just more like what we have now.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe do a set of four little tasks like we have now, you know, which is like complete X amount of contracts after this circle, kill this amount of people with a throwing knife after they're down, and then just doing those specific ones will just randomly unlock the camo for like one specific gun, and then you just do that for all the guns. Could be that too.
It could be that, or it could even be like each new season since last season, we've gotten 4 Warzone rewards tracks, each with 4 challenges within the track for a total of 16. What if the mastery camo grind for Warzone was instead each gun category gets its own track of 4 challenges, but you can do those challenges with any gun within that category. So like LMGs is one of them. And then like challenge 1, get 50 kills with un LMG. Challenge 2, you know, I don't know, kill 5 bounties with un LMG, whatever. And then 2 more challenges relating to LMGs. And then once you complete that reward track, you get the equivalent of the platinum camo for all LMGs. And you can put it on all LMGs.
Yeah.
And then once you do that for every reward track, for every weapon category, then you have the Warzone Mastery camo. That could be another way they do it. That would actually be a really intelligent way to do it. Whether it's what I just said or what you just said. Like not tying it to specific guns, but still being Warzone specific challenges. You just don't have to do them with a specific gun. That's a really smart way to do it, actually. And maybe it is what they're going to do. Yeah. There are so many ways they could do this like super well. And if we thought about it more, we could probably think of other ones. But yeah.
And then it really also could just be, like Jaken's saying, it could just be splitting your camos up. So like nuke camos, you get event camos you earn from Warzone.
Yeah, like Decipher, which I have and you don't. Yeah.
Oh, and then also in this screenshot, favoriting camos is coming back, which we've had before. Big. Especially now, I could really use it. You know, you've got 1,500 weapon camos in the game or
literally.
Something. So
yeah, like 2,000.
So now you can just favorite them, which is awesome.
That's cool,
great little UI change.
Let me favorite weapon charms too, by the way. I have to scroll for like 100 years.
Do you actually use weapon charms?
I use the Warzone dog tags weapon charm on every gun because it's dope. Yeah. It's like the Warzone ranked play weapon charm. You have like little dog tags. I think they're cool. So I put them on all my guns. But yeah, I can't favorite it. And it's at the end of the list, of course. So you just have to scroll forever. But anyway. Yeah. So is that it? Or is there any other breaking news?
That's it.
Okay. We're done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys become patrons. Patreon.com/thedropshot. We will be back next week. Join the Discord if you want to see some of those leaked images. We've posted them in our Discord in Warzone General and Multiplayer General, I think. Go to the pinned comments to find them. And we will see you next time. Stay humble.
Stay humble.